Yeah, so the Austrian Mint has been ravaged by Omicron, and they have had to shut down. And these are unexpected delays, similar to what we saw in 2020, where with the Canadian Mint and the U.S. Mint, where orders were placed, money was paid, promises were made, and the mint shuts down. Same thing happened in the U.K. Same but different. They ran out of blanks. Orders were placed, money was paid, promises were made. They ran out of blanks. Sorry, what are you going to do about it? Look, I read the comments. I know if people think I'm the little boy who cried wolf. I get it. People think I'm just trying to say that physical is hard to get, and yet we still have it to sell. I don't know how much more sincere I can be. I do think it will happen. And all of this happening with a very small sample size of the public invested in precious metals. Look, if we take the Fed at their word and they get tough on inflation and they let rates rise, they're talking over 2%. Look at it as an example with real estate. It's been proven that every 1% rise in interest rates can correlate up to a 10% decrease in housing prices. So you let rates rise to 2%, you see housing prices potentially fall by 20%. And what does that say? Even if it's over 2 years, like they're talking about, what does that say for all the people who just bought new homes at the peak, myself included? Does that mean that we have negative equity in the next 2 years? We're not going anywhere. Anyone who just bought a house isn't going to leave right now. So if you say a 20% haircut in real estate, as an example, this is just a small example. Look at what's happened to the bond market as just over the last week. When you have overvaluations the way that you do, and you start to see corrections, whether they be by Mother Nature or forced by the Fed's hands, you're looking at some fairly significant corrections and some fairly significant moves. If these people realize that they need to take money out of harm's way and move into the physical metals market, it becomes even tougher. And, for the people out there who have metal and have been getting beaten up by their family members, I get it. It hasn't performed the way that we would have thought it would. Alistair McLeod had a great point the other day that if you go back through 2021, there was a large segment of weak-handed people who purchased metal to squeeze the silver market to take advantage of what had happened with GameStop and AMC, and bought it, found out it didn't, they weren't weathered enough in this industry to understand the dynamics of it, and quickly sold, pushing the price down. Now, that was only part of the story, of course, but the point of it simply is that big money is throwing us off the scent with counterintuitive price action and rhetoric. But yet at the same time this happens, we see 70 million ounces delivered off of silver, delivered off of COMEX. And so, since February, and when you see massive amounts of deliveries in gold and silver off the physical markets and acquisition by, big players from, the tech company Palantir all the way up to the big whale on COMEX and central and commercial banks, they don't care about price. In fact, it's almost as if they are thankful that the price has been held down. So this all leads to big money front running, acquisition of metal. And when the realization snaps, if everyone looks to a place to safely put your money, it would be a matter of days before the entire industry has nothing. As it is right now, most of the industry has nothing and is kind of going hand to mouth. And as we get it, it sells out. Look, we ran that special. I don't remember how many Buffalo rounds we had last week. Maybe you do. But we sold out of it in, 2-3 days? What did we have, 40, 50, 60,000?
45,000, I think. Yeah, we got them in 2 days, yeah.
Well, that's the point, is that, we're just one company. And if 40,000 coins sell like that, and now we have to wait till the next batch comes in, well, what happens if the next batch doesn't come in? Kind of like what we're seeing with the Austrian Mint. It will come back in, or when is anyone's guess, but this really isn't an event. If you see a global meltdown, precipitated by what? Who knows? Evergrande, raising rates, crashing markets, whatever it is, very quickly you get to panic and the panic buying and an immediate greater realization that you need to protect yourself. So this is where all of this stems from, Dunnigan. And, I know it's a constant theme. It probably people probably get tired of hearing it, but as far as I'm concerned, it's something that is on my radar screen continuously and concerns me, and more so every day. And what we see happening in Austria and in the United Kingdom with large shipments being waylaid for whatever reason is just more kind of verification that this is indeed the path we're on. Yeah, it's not to be confused with the tapering admission by the Fed that we've all expected. But when the minutes actually came out, we see a different picture. We see all of the Fed governors saying that they want to double down their efforts in said tapering, and all the way into March or April, perhaps all the way down to a zero in terms of continuing purchasing assets, to stop purchasing assets altogether by March or April, in combination with or simultaneously raising rates and even paring down their balance sheet, actually selling their mortgage-backed securities and selling their bonds that they've accumulated, where their balance sheet has risen by almost $4 trillion over the last couple of years. And so they're talking about paring down their balance sheet. This is what caught the market so far, I think, off guard, in the respect that I think the market thought that they were going to taper and then allow rates to rise and then start to sell off their balance sheet, not to do all simultaneously, and to double the speed in which they taper and to increase the speed in which they pare down their balance sheet. Now, if we go back to the last time they tried this, 2017 and 18, they dropped their balance sheet from somewhere around $4.5 trillion to $3.75 trillion, not even a full $1 trillion. And as that happened leading up to the repo market crisis in 19, the market started to go through convulsions, and the Fed reversed course and doubled down their efforts, bringing their balance sheet from $4.5 trillion all the way up to $8 trillion, where we are here today. And
before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information, and it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
Do you want to know one thing about crypto? I made over 3000% in profit in a few weeks. Fact is, the traditional financial system, the traditional money system makes you poor, not rich. If you want to earn $500,000, $1 million, you have to wait until you're 50, 60, 70 in the traditional financial system, and you probably will still be broke. And you will be old. This is not a sexy combination, as you can imagine. But the question is, how can you start in crypto and make these profits? Where to invest? Where to start? My name is Gunnar and I'm from Germany, as you can hear, and things are a little bit different in Germany. More about that later on. Fact is, there are lots of different cryptocurrencies. It's a gigantic universe where beginners and professionals get easily lost. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. There are 7 key steps you need to follow to become successful in this market. You have to know them, and if you fail one of them, it's literally impossible to succeed in this market. Just an example, one of the key points is your exchange, and one of the biggest are, for example, Binance and Coinbase. These are trusted and well-established exchanges, but, and this is a big but, you won't find the super profitable coins on those exchanges. The unknown super profitable coins that get gigantic profits are not traded on those kind of exchanges. They are traded on much smaller insider platforms that are barely known. And I can tell you what those super secret exchanges are and why they are so profitable. And another super important thing are the right information sources. The point is, the internet is gigantic. There are hundreds and hundreds of YouTube channels, blogs, pages, and much more. And there are also market makers and influencers. For example, Elon Musk, he is not a crypto guy, but the moment he recommended Dogecoin, it went through the roof, to the moon, so to say. But why did he recommend it? Where did he hear it from? He didn't hear it from newspapers. And believe me, he is listening to someone. But you have to know who, and you have to react before he is reacting. This is really important. And these are only 2 of the 7 steps you have to follow in order to be successful in crypto. And if you want to know all of these steps in much more detail, and if you want to have a comprehensive checklist, here's what you should do. There is a link below this video. Click on this link and you will get the opportunity to subscribe to my channel. Click on the link and you will see a video where I explain the next steps. So see you soon. Click on the link now. I'll see you there.